You can see, I mean, you got
Larry Rouse owns 38 acres off Shorecrest Road. His grandparents purchased the land for $15 back in 1926. The property, lined with majestic oak trees, was considered prime property for future housing developments.
It's just been a travesty, especially for the area, because this is gorgeous property through here. It was all, of course, zoned residential.
Jim Walker's parents also own property off Shorecrest Road. The property has been in his family for generations. He said instead of spending millions on a new wastewater plant, he's seen research that shows a pipe system could have met the wastewater needs. $16 million from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development is being used to build the still unfinished facility.
That plant is not being used, and there won't be users for that plant in our lifetime. That plant was a ripoff of the taxpayers, the ratepayers, and the landowners.
Right before Hurricane Katrina, several studies estimated that Harrison County's population would jump in population by the year 2025.
They did a population growth studies. IHL did one, the Board of Supervisors did one, and the Mississippi Engineering Group did one. And theirs showed a 60 or 70% population growth north of I-10 to try to justify this plant. Those growth projections will never reach that point.
Larry Rouse agrees.
I understand that at one time they said that after Katrina they were expecting a 50% growth in the population in this area, and it turned out to be a negative 1%, as they have found out since.
Back in May of 2009, then State Senator Billy Hughes sent a letter to Governor Haley Barbour because he had questions about the Shorecrest Road wastewater site. In that letter, he stated he had concerns over appraisal inconsistencies, legal and engineering fees, and a lack of public knowledge of the development. Hughes wanted to make sure the most appropriate site was selected for the long-term development of our coastal region. Instead, Hughes says that prime property was destroyed when construction started on the wastewater treatment facility.
I think they had the right idea of building the plants, but there was a better site, in my opinion, for this behind a cemetery where nobody was going to develop. This particular plant was put on what I consider to be some of the most developable and desirable property in Harrison County. And by putting that plant right in the middle of it, it really just had a detrimental effect on that immediate land, as well as the surrounding properties that might have otherwise been of interest to people for development purposes.
This beautiful piece of real estate was zoned for residential housing. You couldn't put a bird cage out here today, not next to a sewage treatment plant.